Put the 200 into perspective versus other banks, but then what it means for Bank of America.
Right. So at other banks, we're seeing thousands. This is nowhere near that. This is likely to be under 200. And so it might not seem extreme, especially when you're looking across the street at peers. But for Bank of America, it is a step further. They put a pause on hiring, bringing new people in. That was to account for less people leaving. So there was just a natural attrition issue that they were dealing with. And now it's really a return to business as usual, pre-pandemic cuts that happen normally after bonus season this time of year. It's pretty typical. And it is not the extreme culls that we've seen at Goldman Sachs, which was actually some of the biggest cuts that we've seen at their business. And it would be more similar to Citigroup, which was a few dozen in their investment banking unit.
Does that then say something about their performance, Katherine, or how do we account for the discrepancy between these banks and the numbers they're putting out?
So the performance would be across Wall Street. We've seen deals dried up last year. There's less fees coming in the door. So that means that they have to really think about expense management. If you have less money, you're going to be able to get through for a number of months or quarters, but at a point you have to start making decisions, and you have to maybe think about how to keep your expenses in check. And really, we're waiting for a meaningful rebound in deals. The start of January and really this month in February, we've seen more activity, so we could eventually see less of a pullback and less of a correction in terms of management and headcount numbers. But the big picture here is that across Wall Street, as less money is coming in, at least in investment banking, they're having to really think about their headcount and how many people are actually going to need to stay for the types of deals that they're doing.
So on the flip side, though, I feel like wasn't Brian Moynihan out already being like, we're not going to be laying off people, we're okay? So this in Bank of America, though, is a bit of a reversal of that.
So they have always touted that they are different than other banks, that they're saying we're not doing massive layoffs. And that's what you've seen in the thousands at other peers. They are not going that far. This is more business as usual. So when there was a pause during the pandemic and really the job cuts were not happening at Bank of America, they've started to resume. Now, it's not these massive layoffs. It's not a cull, and that's what you've continued to hear from executives. But it is a step further than just a hiring freeze or no cuts at all.